there. So yesterday I made a video titled Boundaries. If you haven't watched that, definitely go check it out because it's I opened up a little bit about my personal life and some stuff that I've been going through, and apparently I skimmed the comments and apparently it has helped a lot of people. So if potentially you need help or advice or need to feel relatable in some sense of going through something difficult, that video that I made yesterday called Boundaries may be the video for you to just sit back and watch. I wanted to make this video today because I have actually quite a few different videos coming out this month that I'm going to talk about. But I did it. Okay. So you may remember that earlier, I think it was earlier in the year, or was it 2024? I don't remember. I made a video on this channel where I was talking about my job as a bus driver. And I made a video a couple months ago called Bus Driver Stories, where I opened up about some of the crazy experiences and stuff I had. But I hit my year mark in April of 2025. I've been a bus driver for over a year straight. And I am shocked because I didn't think that I would have. What I'm trying to say is that if you saw the video, and I don't even remember what video it is, there was a video where I was talking about how difficult my job was as a bus driver, not so much with the people, but the scheduling, because there's a lot of bus companies in my state, but my job, the company that I work for, apparently has this thing where it's not normal that other companies have, and it's this thing where it's called extra board, where when you get hired, your schedule, I'm working 5 days a week, right? But I'm basically the guy they call out, or they call anytime somebody calls out sick. So every day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I get a work schedule, right? And that work schedule can start from 1 a.m. to 4 p.m. the next day. So I'm doing different routes. I'm driving in different areas. I'm driving in different cities. I'm never doing the same thing ever. And my job start time never starts the same and never ends the same. So and for somebody who's neurodivergent, right, and is really in love with his new routine, right? Like my routine this morning, I had my vitamins, I have my black coffee with honey. When I have no routine, it's really difficult for me to manage. And in the last year, right, I have somehow managed to pull off a year of working a schedule with no consistent start times or end times. The first, if you watched my video yesterday on Boundaries, the first 6 months that I was working anywhere from 60 to 70, sometimes 80 hours a week. Just loaded, just work. Like I was a workaholic, right? Because I was getting my mind off of everything that I was going through at that exact time. Which was some extremely traumatic stuff, which I'm not going to mention here. So go watch the other video if you want to know what that is. But it was I think one of the hardest things I have ever done, next to what I was going through last summer, not quitting. I can't tell you the amount of days that I woke up and I'm like, I'm going to go into work today and I'm going to quit. And all of my employees and workers that I worked with, man, they would always tell me, they had this saying, it gets better, Daniel, it gets better. Just hang it out for the first year. It's going to be brutal, but if you can do it, we promise you it will get better. And by the last few months of before my year mark, I was like, dude, a year of extra board. The hardest thing is just I had no routine and I couldn't plan anything, because when I would plan things, I would have to cancel almost all the time because I'd force myself to go to sleep at 6 p.m. and then I'd get a phone call at 8 p.m. and they're like, you had a scheduled time for 4 a.m. Well, now we need you to come in at 1. It's like, bro, I get 3 hours of sleep and now you want me to work a 10.5-hour shift. Fuck you. Like, that's literally, I had those thoughts. It's like, holy shit, how do people do this, right? And there's a reason why the job has a high turnover rate, but now that I'm in, because when I hit my year mark, I actually gained enough seniority and enough people left where I moved up. And now I have an official work schedule, meaning that where do I work? I work Saturdays through Wednesdays, right? And I love working weekends, which is something that everybody wants weekends off. I do not, because weekends is half the service. It's not as busy. There's less people. There's less everything. And it's just the weekends are a breeze, and it makes the rest of my 3 days, Monday through Wednesday, go by so fast, right? But I did it. I earned enough seniority, and now I have my own schedule, and it's the same schedule for up until September 30th, where every 3-4 months we have a rotation where we bid for work at our job, and we switch routes and switch things and like that. But I did it, though. I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I did it. I didn't think I was going to do it. I wanted to quit so many times. And the first day, I think it was June, July. Yeah, it was June. I think it was like June 1st or something like that. I had my first work schedule, right? Day. And I cried. I cried. Because it was such a relief off my back. Now I go to work. I have no stress. I have no worry because I don't know. The other thing about extra board is like you really don't know what you're going to do, and then you get an assignment like, oh, this is what you're going to be doing today, and then you go into work and they'll be like, actually, we decided to change your work schedule, and you're going to do something completely opposite of what you thought you were going to do, and it's very unpredictable. And I like going into work knowing what my job assignment is and having my responsibility and know what I'm going to be doing, and then I'm going to do that to my best ability, right? But it wasn't like that for a year. So there was always this constant thing in my back of my mind, like I have to prepare for my stuff to switch on the spot at a moment's notice. And then I was supposed to get off at a certain time, and now I'm getting off at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have to cancel this date I was going to go. Like, it was too much. It was too much for this autistic brain to handle at once. Now, everybody I've told that I worked that schedule for a year, they're like, how the hell did you do that? I don't know. I don't know how I did it. I just was motivated to keep trucking because I wanted to prove myself wrong, and I did. In normal circumstances, I would have quit. And maybe being cheated on and maybe going through the traumatic experience I went through last year was a good thing, right? I know that's a weird thing to say, but sometimes no matter how bad something may be and horrific, and now I have trauma for the rest of my life with what that person did to me, right? Perhaps maybe there was a reason for that, because I pushed myself further than I've ever pushed myself from a mental standpoint, from a routine standpoint, from an autistic standpoint. And here I am, right? I've earned enough seniority. I have my own route. I do the same schedule every day. I go into work at the same schedule every day, and it's a night and day difference. I actually like going into work now. Can't say that previously, but I enjoy going to work. And I see the same coworkers at the same time schedules too. And I'm actually meeting people at my job after a year, because when I'm on extra board, I'm working nights and mornings, and I don't meet the same people on a schedule, right? So I never see the same people. Something else that has also happened, which I was really surprised, and it felt really good because I feel like a lot of jobs don't do this. I got 2 compliments from management, actually, at my job. 2 supervisors did a compliment recommendation for me, and I went into work and I got this letter in my box, and I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Because typically when we have a letter in our box, it means that we've done something wrong, right? So I see this letter and I'm like, my heart's dropping. I'm like, okay, I screwed something up. What did I do? And it was 2 compliments in the same week by 2 different people, which was crazy to me. And it felt so good because my supervisor get a compliment. The compliment goes into like HR, and then HR sends it to like the manager, and then the manager actually writes a little note. And I got 2 of them. And I didn't even think anything of it when it happened, but like I was bus driving, and one of the buses in front of me got stuck in Seattle because they didn't square their turn properly. Because we drive all different types of buses. There's 40-foot buses, there's like 30-foot buses, there's 70-foot buses, you know, those articulated accordion buses that like are huge, right, and bend. Those buses get stuck really easy. There's certain turns in Seattle when you're driving a bus downtown and one-way streets, and then you have cars that are overreaching on the crosswalk, and then you have cars on the side of the crosswalk. So you're left with this very weird, like, angled turn, and Sometimes it's almost impossible. Like, you can't actually make the turn if the driver's too far up in the crosswalk, which something, maybe this is everywhere in every state. But in Washington, I feel like every idiot with a Tesla or a Prius has their front of their car shoved up in the crosswalk their car is halfway through the crosswalk, and then I can't make my turn, and then I have to wait through 3 or 4 cycles of my light to get the turn because there's other I just can't make it. Like, you drive the bus enough, you realize, and you just see things, and you're like, oh, I can't make that. And then you're like, I can make that. I've had some like quarter inches turns, and I'm like, man, I don't think I'm going to make this, but I'm going to wing it. And I made it. I've never gotten my bus stuck yet. So that is a relief. I'm probably going to jinx myself now and watch today. I'm going to go to work today and get my bus stuck or something. But the point is, this bus driver in front of me was doing a different route, and he made the same turn as me because a lot of the buses go on the same routes and then they go different turns, and he got stuck. I immediately pulled my maxi, my emergency brake, put my lights on, and I jumped out. This was actually kind of fun. I jumped out of my bus and ran into an extremely crazy intersection. I thought I was going to die for a second in an intersection with, oh God, I hate this intersection. It's near Eastlake and Republican Street, if you know where that is, in Seattle, near Yale. What am I talking about? Most of you guys aren't even from Washington. Anyway, it's downtown Seattle, near Mercer Street, and I jumped out, and because the bus was turning and it got stuck, right? And it's blocking half the intersection. Everybody's honking their horns. Everybody's mad because everybody's mad at the bus for every reason possible. And I just jumped out and ran over the guy and helped him back up and got him back on. Like, really simple things, right? And I guess I didn't even realize that there were like 3 cars behind where I parked my bus in this half intersection. There's a supervisor behind me, and I was like, oh. And then he put in a recommendation. Then the other one was this dude, and this one's actually a little bit more, I kind of like side-eye myself because like I don't know what could have happened. It was my last trip, and this guy got on my bus, and I had a feeling that when I got to my last stop, he wasn't going to get off. And lo and behold, you just get that vibe. He's not going to get off. He could barely walk. He was in a walker. And he tells me he needs this city. And I'm like, well, I don't go there. This is the last stop of the night. This is my last trip of the night. I want to go home. And the supervisor was like, well, could you ask me if I would be willing to take him to this other city? And I'm like, you know what? It's on the way back. Whatever. I'll do it. So I take him there. It was just him and me. At night, at like 11 o'clock at night, I get him to where he needs to go, and then he won't get off the bus, and he's wanting to go to a different city, completely opposite of where I just took him. Turns out the guy had a stroke. And he could barely walk, and he had a big gash in his head. I felt really bad for him, and he had a bunch of shit on him. The supervisor comes, gets him off the bus, is trying to ask him questions, blah, blah, blah. I get relieved of the guy. I go home. I found out the next day that this guy, who had a stroke, and he definitely had a stroke because my dad had a stroke, and I know how stroke victims act and how their body posture is. Turns out the guy had like $5,000 to $6,000 cash on him, and he had like 3 warrants out for his arrest, and he was a felon with like 4 different felony charges. I was like, oh, okay. He wasn't as old as I thought he was. I'm like, wow, I just rode a bus 30 minutes with this guy who's a wanted felon. For some charges. I'm like, oh, so I almost could have died then, right? Right. Didn't happen, obviously, but police took him and arrested him and then took him to some hotel and dropped him off in a different county because they didn't want to deal with it or something. That's what I was told. I don't know. But it was just like, okay. Why was I telling these two? Oh, going back to because I got a compliment from that because I went out of my way and I was very happy. But I'm like, my job's customer service based, so I'm not going to tell the guy like, no, I'm not taking you. It's right. I don't mind helping somebody if they need help. And plus I get paid by the minute. So if I have to drive an extra 30 minutes to a different direction, I'm getting paid every minute for that. So I don't really care, right? Money is money. And if I can do some extra overtime, I've got enough raises now that my overtime, when I get an overtime, it's like almost $57, $60 an hour. So overtime is really worth it to me. So I like overtime. But I guess going back, I'm getting derailed here with my ADHD brain. Going back to my original point, I did it. And I want to let you know that you can do whatever you put your mind to, and don't let the fact that you're neurodivergent, autistic, anxiety, have mental health related issues, don't let that stop you from really pursuing what you want to pursue. And if you think that you can't do something, you can. Okay, that's at the end of the story. If you can do anything you put your mind to, like legitimately, you can. I did something. I broke my routine for a year. I did it for a year. I stuck it out. There were so many times I wanted to quit, but I stuck with it and it got better. That's not to say that everything in your life is going to get better, because I don't know you and I don't know your life. But if you remain diligent and you persevere through hardships, things will come out, for the most part, hopefully better for you. As long as you're not, you got to keep yourself busy. That's the main thing I've realized, is that now that I have a work schedule, I have a bit more free time to think about things, and which is what I made the video I made yesterday, because I hadn't really taken a lot of time to think about that. And even though I'm in therapy is like once a week type of thing, once every 2 weeks, whatever. But now that I have a work schedule and my brain isn't work every 2 seconds, it's giving me a lot more time to process things and what I've been going through and what I've done and accomplished. So I wanted just to share that with you. So that's all I got to say. Thank you for watching this video. If you've made it this far in the video, I do want to say it would benefit me a lot, and it would benefit you a lot if you would check out the sponsor of the channel today. So I've been sponsored for 3.5 years by Vance Global. You see me recommend them all the time. Vance Global specializes in CBD and other products that I can't name on YouTube that are really beneficial to you. They will help you, okay? If you have struggles with sleep, they'll help you with your sleep. If you're having troubles with anxiety, they'll help you with that. If you just need to chill out and you can't have certain things in your body for your job, well, their CBD products do work. If you've used my discount code at checkout, Repsion, you're going to get 20% off everything, including free shipping, and they ship to all 50 states. I have a lot of people say, well, my state won't allow this. You can have Vance Global shipped to your mailbox. I promise you, all 50 states. There was a bill in 2018 that legalized things where if it's under a certain percentage of something, it's legal, even if your state says it's not. So with that in mind, please support the channel, support the sponsor of the channel. I'd appreciate it. It helps me greatly. It's pretty much the only sponsor I have on this channel, because I don't do this as a job no more, and they've stuck with me this long. And I appreciate them, and I appreciate you very much just for watching this video. And if you support the sponsor. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys probably in a few days for another video that I have planned. So deuces.